Who is the target audience for your med spa? So the common marketing advice here is always that you need to come up with a solution statement, such as we help X achieve Y without Z. And today I'm going to show you why you don't need that, and I'll actually show you the messaging that really puts you in front of your target audience and gets them to book each and every month. If you don't know who I am, if you're new here, my name is Nicholas, and you might recognize my work from the Spa Industry Association or the work I've done with the Dermoscope magazine. I'm the founder of Make It Marketable, where we help med spas get more injectables and cool sculpting patients from Google and AI. So with that said, let's dive in. All right, so I'm going to start with a little story about Karen. So Karen came to me and she was on the verge of closing her med spa doors. She owns a med spa in Denver, and she'd been running Facebook ads, creating Instagram content, and she was really feeling very burnt out. And she told me that the only people she'd managed to attract was more or less price shoppers, people who just wanted the cheapest deal. Many of them had bad credit, didn't have a credit card, so they couldn't put a card on file to book, and it just wasn't working out. And so I told her what I'm about to tell you. Actually, what she told me who she wanted to attract was working moms who have a lot of disposable income, never put themselves first, and they help them to take care of their skin and age gracefully. And I could tell that she had put a lot of thought into that, and it wasn't something she had just pulled out of thin air. And I see this a lot with med spa owners, is that they tend to think about this, and it really doesn't have to be that difficult. So I'll tell you what I told Karen is that your target audience has 3 characteristics, and it's super easy. This is the biggest advantage that a local business has. So with that said, let me just get my marker and tell you what these 3 characteristics are. So qualification number 1, they're local. Number 2, they've got money to spend. And number 3, they have an intention to buy, right? They're local, they have money, and they have intention to buy. And the secret, or the reason that this is so easy for you is that your target audience are the people I hope this is visible and not cut off, but they're just the people in your city. That's really it. You don't have to overthink it. If you ran an e-commerce business or a software company, basically a business that had a global marketplace, and you needed to use the entire internet algorithm to market to your business to your customers, then you would need one of those solution statements, or you would need to think through who's your ideal client. But the reality is, and the biggest advantage you have is that you have your clients, your patients need to be within driving distance of your med spa. Therefore, you can use local marketing. Big software companies, e-commerce businesses, they can't do that. That's a huge advantage. So the question is, how do you get in front of these people? Okay. And I'll just erase the board really quickly. So what is the messaging that will get you in front of your target audience, right? Remember, we said they're local, they have money and the intention to spend. So I'll quickly share some stats, and maybe I'll put them on the screen. 40% of your patients in your local market trust and use AI or Google to find a local business every single month. That's 40% of the market. 20% of them will just click through and book right there. They trust AI and Google that much. 40% of them will check out your reviews on your Google business profile, and 40% of them will vibe check you on Instagram. So I've said this before, but we think of social media as social proof, because it's at the bottom of the funnel. They find you through Google and AI, then they check out your Google business profile, reviews, then they check out your Instagram. And it's the last step, and they're just trying to see that you're not a faceless business, that you don't have AI and stock photos of just needles and faces, but there's people behind it. But anyways, so what is the messaging that actually puts you in front of these people? 3 words. Okay? In Karen's case, this was the words that got her a weekly, went from nothing, invisible, to getting a weekly Botox booking, and then 22 monthly membership signups, so recurring revenue. These were the 3 words. MedSpa Denver. There's no cleverness to that. It's not your solution. Like, there's nothing clever. I can't think of one off the top of my head. It's that simple. Okay. This is a keyword. Okay. Your target audience are searching this. There's a certain number of people every single month, whether it's in the hundreds or thousands, depends on your city, and they're looking for this. They're self-selecting by searching. And your job is to get in front of them. Another keyword might be, and this is just an example, obviously it could be, it's just your city, right? I'm just using Denver as an example. But another one might be Botox. Cool sculpting. These are the keywords, which are just your treatments, that when they're placed strategically in your marketing, put you in front of your target audience. Okay? So I have other videos going into the how and like how to optimize your Google business profile, your website, stuff like that. But really it's as simple as having these keywords and terms on your Instagram, your Facebook, your website, your Google business profile. You want them everywhere. What I want to address is that sometimes people say, well, how do I differentiate my Botox from every other person in my city? Okay, that's a fair enough question. And I want to so I'll erase the board. And I just want to share that. So remember we said that they go to Google and AI. That's how they're finding you, right? So G and AI, the Googs, this is for Google, this is for AI, only ever display 3 to 5 med spas at a time, right? On the Google local pack, there's 3, and in AI it changes, but it could be anywhere from 3 to 5. So there's only ever 3 to 5 med spas displayed at the top. And we know that patients trust these recommendations. Another really important fact is that 72% of patients never look beyond 3 businesses before making a decision. Now, I've also spoken about this on some of my other work. I think this is also due to the anchoring effect. You may have heard of this when it comes to like negotiations and price anchoring, but it basically states it's a cognitive bias that when people come across options, we assign more weight, more value to the first options that we see, which is based, and the stat of 72% saying that they never go beyond 3 is kind of just, the proof is in the pudding, right? So you differentiate by showing up at the top. So the question ultimately is not who is my target audience, it's how do I get in front of them? And you want to get in front of them by getting displayed in Google and AI. It's basically the practice of SEO, search engine optimization. So I hope that was clear. These businesses get all the bookings. You can charge premium prices, right? Because you're differentiated by coming first. So if you have questions, drop them down below. I'll answer them or create content addressing your question. If you liked this, leave a thumbs up, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.